Hanging out with the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden. President Biden, I got to ask you this. I just want to kind of go in reverse just a little bit. You discussed a little bit about student loans, $20,000 for those people who had a Pell Grant, $10,000 for those people with, just kind of traditional loans, if you would. I want to talk a little bit about it because a lot of people are celebrating it. Of course, I'm promoting it on my show, making sure that people know about it. However, there are certain states that have this litigation going on about it. Do you think this can actually survive the litigation that's actually happening right now?
Absolutely, positively, it will survive. Look, the post-high school education should be the ticket to the middle class. The cost of college is skyrocketed for too many borrowers, even people with a little bit of money. The price of college has tripled in the last 4 years, and Pell Grants used to cover 80% of the college tuition. Now they only cover a third of it. And so here's the point. There's only one case left out there where we have to clear the bar here. It means 16 million Americans could be getting $10,000 to $20,000 in student debt forgiven. Mm-hmm. Republicans, if they take over Congress, they're going to turn their backs on those working families. My agenda is clear. I want to give working and middle-class Americans more breathing room, not make it harder for them to get by. And by the way, the other thing I've done and no one's paid much attention to is I've also I've said anyone who's ever been arrested for the mere possession of marijuana, that gets wiped off their record, and they never have to answer again. Have you ever been arrested? You can say no. Legally, you can say no. And by the way, that's kept a lot of African Americans and Americans across the country from being able to qualify for a whole lot of programs. One more thing. When someone does their time in prison, they should, when they get out of prison, have every right everybody else has. And so right now we give folks $25 in a bus ticket.
Yeah, it's true.
They end up under the same bridge they got arrested under. Mm-hmm. And so they should be qualified. They qualify for federal housing, qualify for federal loans, qualify for Pell Grants, qualify for all the things that give them a chance to put their lives straight. They paid their price.
President Joe Biden, so glad that you're here with us, man. As I sit here and think, I kind of want to switch the camera lens to you. What has been the most frustrating thing when you're trying to push these things through? Because, of course, when we initially seen the student loan, that they were going to get the money, we didn't know exactly how this was going to happen. Of course, now I see a lot of talks in the news that if you've ever had possession of marijuana, it can all be cleared up. Is it like, how do people get the information to know where to go to make sure that everything is clear? Is that a website? Is that contacting your lawyer? How do you make sure that this stuff is off?
Well, there's a website, StudentAid.Gov.
Yeah.
Go online to StudentAid.Gov. And so far, there's been hundreds of thousands have qualified because it's so simple. There's only 5 questions you get asked.
Good.
And you get asked, and they run it right away to determine whether or not you qualify. You get notified whether you're qualified immediately, and then we just got to get this last court out of the way, this last court case.
Yeah.
Look, there's a lot of Republicans I know that want to help, but I think a lot of the Republican members of the House and Senate are just afraid of these mega Republicans, because I swore I'd never say the names, so I won't. But about 10 months ago, on occasion, there were one bill up. I wanted to mention a bill. 6 different Republicans contacted me to say, Joe, I know you're right. There's people I've known before. I know you're right, Joe, but if I support it, I'm going to get defeated. They're going to primary me out. I'll be gone. So I'm convinced that if we're able to get people out to vote in this election, and if we're able to maintain the House and the Senate, you're going to see a significant change. One of the biggest things is everybody talks about crime. Well, the people who are most often victims of crime are in the black community. To think of all those folks who have been injured and gun violence. And so we need to deal with guns. And my Republican friends are afraid of the NRA.
That was my next question for you.
With a little bit of help from some Republicans, the most extensive law relating to controlling weapons in American history. But the one thing they knocked out was I had a ban on assault weapons. We're coming back and we're going to get rid of assault weapons as well.